Matt Clark here at the new Matt Clark. How are each and every one of you doing on this amazing Friday? I'm doing great. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. And I hope each and every one of you are doing great. If you could please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button so you get all these videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that would be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help, and support the channel. So let's talk about gangs, prison gangs. See, in Toronto or in Ontario, there are no prison gangs. Period. Like, you don't see these squads popping up in prison with gang names, with like hierarchy. For the most part, it's either race squads or gangs from street. And that's typically how it works in Ontario, at least when I was doing time. Nobody was running around like, yo, we're the, from jail. It just wasn't how it is, just not how it is in Canada. Now, you want to avoid gang politics at all cost. Now, understand, as being a convict, chances are, you're either struggling with addiction, you've had problems and traumas in your life, you're financially burdened. There's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. And a lot of the time that can create a lonely existence. And if you're somebody who's not like some hardened goon, a lot of the time you'll find it necessary to find protection or strength in numbers in prison. So a lot of people will join a gang thinking that it's cool. Now, I'm speaking simply on Ontario. I know there's plenty of prison gangs if you go out west. And there's prison gangs, I'm pretty sure, if you go out east. I'm just speaking about Ontario specifically. Now, obviously there is strength in numbers. There can be serious strength in numbers. But understand this. If you join a squad or you join a gang in prison, there's a hierarchy of that gang, and you have responsibilities. And if certain things pop up and you're the bottom of the tier, dude, what do you think's gonna happen? You are the minion. You are the soldier, and you don't have a say in that. Why would you want to commit yourself to something like that? Specifically, if you're not about that life. And believe me, I've seen many guys come from out west. Like I said, tattoos all over their faces. And they're scared, terrified for their lives, running and hiding. They end up getting bounced out from here because obviously nobody supports those kind of dudes. And you ask, it's like, why? Why would you put 20 gang tats on your face, but you're some suburban kid from Alberta? Why? Like, I don't get it. It's crazy to me. And what people don't realize, if you get involved in gang politics in prison, if you get involved in somebody else's issues, you're also inheriting their beef. And that can be real bad. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. I did time with a dude who was a big dude. And he really seriously wanted to rep for a certain squad. So he was putting himself out there as riding on the ops. So he would make a scene, would disrespect people out loud. And I remember he had a knife fight, one-on-one knife fight. And the guy was a good dude. And I remember being in T unit and talking to the man and saying, bro, like, what are you doing? Why would you get yourself into all this? Like, you're a smart guy. And when you have conversations with him, he seems so aware of himself, of what he needs to do. But then as soon as he's back in front of those dudes, his whole demeanor changes and he turns back into that savage. And I would tell him, please, bro, like, you don't know who you're dealing with. Well, obviously you do know who you're dealing with, but I just think that sometimes when you get caught up in a situation, you get caught up in that stuff, especially when you're in prison and you're a big, strong guy and you can crush a lot of people and you're not worried about a shank. Anytime you get in a fight in prison, there is a possibility that that will touch you on the street. There's plenty of shooters who aren't just going to get punched out by some dude. And if you cross paths with those dudes, you're going to get shot. Now, I remember I was in Lindsay, and a dude was scrapping. Now, this is how it happened exactly, okay? So there was a certain goon on the block. Now, this goon had been shot. You know, he wasn't super tough. Like, he kind of limped a bit. And then there is this big country, you know, cornbread-fed white farmer, okay? They had a disagreement, and this guy comes up behind him and smashes him in the head with a castor oil full of toilet paper in a sock. Now, if anybody knows what castor oil is, it's like hair food, and it's a plastic container. Now, stuffed with wet toilet paper, it's going to be real heavy, but it's going to break first shot, and that's exactly what happened. And this was some big 300-pound farmer dude. And it smacked him upside his head, and he ate it like it was breakfast. Grabbed the dude, just wrapped up with him, and just fell to the ground and proceeded to beat his face in. Now, as soon as that situation happened, I told the man, you better not bump into that person on the street ever, because you will lose your life. I guarantee it 100%. Now, the dude that I was talking about before, that I had those conversations with, that is exactly what happened. He touched road after his pen bit, got comfortable, got shot, got killed. For what? Somebody else's politics? It just doesn't make sense to me why you would want to join an organization, pay that organization, be responsible to that organization, and anytime they're just over you, they'll just slap you out or get rid of you. And that's not always the case, but what I'm saying is, a lot of these people that get involved in this stuff aren't prepared for what's gonna come. And just because you get involved with the gang inside, whether you're out east or out west, and stuff is calm at the moment when you join, you never know. One person can change the dynamics of a whole prison. One single con. To come in with a different attitude, rile everybody up, and get everybody going, and suddenly it's a violent prison. Like, when I did a lot of time in Joyceville, obviously, 7 years I did there, you would go 6 months where it'd be calm. It'd be like being on a lake fishing at 7, 8 o'clock at night when the sun's going down. You hear the loons calling, and you can see the reflection of the earth, or the sky, sorry, in the water. That calm. And then you can slowly feel that tension build. And one person can cut the first cut, and then all hell breaks loose. That's facts. It happens. That's what happens. And if you are tied to a race, or like a certain squad on the inside, say you join the Muslims, or the Native Brotherhood, or the Canadian Caucasians, you are committed to that squad, even in violence, even if you don't want to be. Because people are going to be relying on you. And if you sucker up, then people are going to start calling you a buster, and that's not what you want. So it's better just to go lone wolf, not worry about any of that. Just stand up for yourself when necessary, and in that case, you only have to speak to one person, and that is yourself. And at the end of the day, that's all that should matter. And if you have any intention of changing, staying out of prison, you must stay away from that. Because that is going to extend your time, that is going to extend your life, and at the end of the day, you will regret it in the long run, because no one who joins that life wins. It's just not how it goes. Now, I can't speak necessarily on prison gangs, because I've never really watched a prison gang get created inside a prison with a prison name, like that only is a prison gang. I've never seen that personally. But, like, I just think that you're setting yourself up for failure, even though you think you're setting yourself up with protection and camaraderie and loyalty. You know, there are cases where squads are loyal with each other. I've seen it happen many times. But then there are also cases where you're just a soldier, a crash test dummy, and running in there, putting your life on the line. And as soon as that door closes behind you, nobody's following. You're in there alone. It happens. So be careful. If you like this video, please, please, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button so you get all these videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that would be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link will be in the description. I share my experiences with you so you don't have to go through these things. You guys know that. But at the end of the day, you're going to make your decisions. You're men, you're women, you're adults, right? Even if your decision is to be a criminal, stay away from that. You're just going to end up putting a lot of money into something that backfires in your face. And that is the best advice I have. And if you're in prison, stay out of it. Don't lose your life over politics you're not aware of. You know, when you're involved in a gang from the street, you know the politics. You understand the codes of that squad. When you're joining a squad in prison, even if it's a gang on the street, you may not be filled in totally on what's going on. And you may have a ton of enemies that you don't know who they are. There's no faces, and there's nothing more dangerous than a faceless enemy. Please take heed to my warnings. Love each and every one of you. The new Matt Clark.